Boy, it's so quiet around here.
I know.
The phone hasn't rang all day.
I know. There's nothing to oh boy, what's the word I'm looking for? Do.
Yeah, it is all quiet here right now, isn't it, Anthony?
No, it's typical of every off season. After pretty much July 2nd, it's just a whole lot of nothing. I mean, every now and then you get a late July trade. I think the Mac Chuck trade was around this time of year in July.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
But yeah, it's this is gonna be the norm until probably early September.
Well, there's still different topics to be talking about, and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey, where we are fishing for as many topics as we could talk about around the NHL today. I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams. Delighted to be back with you guys for another Wednesday, and hopefully more things because somebody break some news. Trade Jason Robertson already, please. And of course, joined by the man from the hockey news, Mr. Anthony LaRocco.
Yeah, I wouldn't, Robertson. I think that could still go either way. I mean, if it did happen, I roughly would say surmise probably wouldn't happen somewhere closer to training camp. But I saw a report the other day that thinking the number could be, close to 12 million, which I think he's a great player. I would love to have him on my team. 12 million for him, I think, is a little bit of a stretch, but we'll see what transpires there.
Although it is kind of funny today with the free agent that signed today. I got to remember who signed today.
Joe Veleno.
Joe Veleno.
Yeah.
As soon as Joe Veleno signed, that crossed the NHL to $1 billion worth of contracts signed this season. Wow. That is, and it pushes past the old record from last year. And it's amazing that they're able to do it, especially on a down year. Imagine next year. We'll cover that in a future video for you guys. Of course, make sure that you check out Big Apple Hockey and subscribe more than just the Rangers, Islanders, and we cover the NHL. Well, let's get to the A block, Anthony. Sorry for covering your face for a second, but let's get to what news did drop today, which was a schedule. By the way, Big Apple Hockey trucker hats and shirts are available. For once, I'm not wearing either. And the A block is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. The schedule that dropped today, and we knew this going into today, NHL dropped their opening night schedule, be the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Florida Panthers, a banner raising at 5 a.m. So at least everybody in Florida.
5 p.m. 5 a.m.
Yeah. I still think about my work schedule. But so there'll be a banner raising for the early bird special. But the Rangers versus Pittsburgh at the Garden, Mike Sullivan seeing his old team, and of course Colorado going to Los Angeles, who ended their season in quite a disappointing fashion. Anthony, I have a bunch of things that I look for whenever the schedule comes out, but whenever the schedule comes out, what do you look for? Is there anything specific or just kind of like la-di-da?
It's pretty much la-di-da for me. I mean, obviously, check when the first game of the year is, the home opener. And then, like you mentioned off air, I'll kind of look at, when the Islanders will take that dreaded West Coast trip or, go out to the Pacific Northwest and Canada. But honestly, that's really about it.
Yeah, that's what I look for right away. I always look for three things. There is one other date that I did not put on there, and I will get that right now for everybody. But mark your calendars, December 15th, Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba return to Madison Square Garden. How much that means to people, I don't know. That's a good question. But, Anthony, let's go to these things that I have marked down. The Rangers, the big trips. The Rangers go on their West Coast trip, the 19th to the 23rd of January. That's for California teams. They do Western Canada and Seattle, October 26th, November 1st, and do the three teams in the Central, Las Vegas, Colorado, and Utah, None of those are going to be that easy this
Well,
year.
Las Vegas is not in the Central, by the way.
Technically, they're the Pacific. You're correct about that, but
Yes.
usually that's like the Central. Like that's I've been classifying it as the
Yeah.
Central. Because
Oh,
by the way, folks, this is going to be brutal for the Islanders. We're going to get to them in a second. But the Rangers close out the season after March 16th, so just before St. Patrick's Day. They play 16 games. 12 of them are against playoff teams this year. And the way they're going to end the year, at Dallas, at Florida, at Tampa. You better hope those games aren't meaningful, because if the Rangers need them, they might not even need to worry about anything. You look at the West, you look at the Islanders, though, Anthony. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Islanders on the West Coast. They go to California March 4th through the 10th, but that includes a trip to St. Louis on the way back. They go to Winnipeg and all the Western Canadian teams and Seattle January 13th through the 21st. And when they do that central swing, it's Vegas, Colorado, Utah, and Dallas November 13th through the 18th. So they just get everybody. They get walloped, I think, with this schedule. But the Islanders close out from March 22nd, 12 games. Half of them are against playoff teams. But the last 5 games, Anthony, look at this. At Carolina, versus Toronto, versus Ottawa, versus Montreal, versus Carolina at home. So they close with 4, but not easy opponents. What can you think about these schedules?
not much, to be honest with you. I mean, I really don't think much of it. Every team's got to do it. You go out west, take in. You go to Western Canada, you go out to California, you play the Ducks, the Sharks, Kings, so honestly, I mean, I know we're reaching, trying to find stuff to talk about, but I don't really have much, much insight on it other than that, they're going to go out there and obviously they're going to try to win as many games as they can, which goes for any team, but I don't think it's much to do about anything compared to what any other team really goes through when they go out there that are in the East Coast that go out west. So they'll just, it's tough flying that far from home and going out on the West Coast trips and the far trips, but also too, a lot of players would say it's good. It's a good time for bonding, especially if it's early in the season and whatnot. It's good to get away. So. There's positives to it too. But other than that, though, honestly, I really don't think it's anything important news or noteworthy, to be completely honest with you.
Well, it depends on I think the age of the team. If you have an older team, Anthony, I think you want to have the West Coast trips as early in the year and you don't leave the Eastern time zone that much. That'd be different for an older team. In the Islanders case and in the Rangers case, because there's sort of mixed ages. But the Islanders they're transitioning to be a much younger team now. I don't think that's going to be that much of a problem maybe towards the end of the year. I actually don't know what the realistic expectations are for both these teams. I'm still trying to come up with it as well. And the hard part again, Anthony, is just if you're not playing well and then you got that vaunted West Coast trip coming up, whether it's sometimes that can galvanize the team. Sometimes that could just be the final nail in the coffin. What happened with the Rangers last year, I'll pop up their trips again. The Rangers, they really got exposed when they went to the West Coast. Like, that's when you had Calgary with a 40-shot game and then Edmonton with a 40-shot game back-to-back. And Chris Drury looked over and said, yeah, we're not good enough. But, yeah, or Ranger fans, keep blaming Chris Drury. That's definitely the problem. But it's just you kind of want some cupcakes on the schedule. But then again, as the teams that played Chicago the last couple of years, I think it was the Pittsburgh Penguins 2 seasons ago got knocked out by the Blackhawks. And I think the Blackhawks or Anaheim knocked somebody out last year that you went, what? Really? So you got to play the teams that are on your schedule. You just got to play them there. But this is the best analysis I could give on this. Yeah, Anthony, we're reaching. We're 10 minutes in, and we're already gonna go to the next topic. Although, if there is a city you could go see right now, what would you go pick?
I mean, I still never been to a game in Vegas. I've been to Vegas plenty of times. I know, obviously, for the draft and just amongst other things, but I've never actually been there for a hockey game. So I think it would be cool to see a game in Vegas. Again, Nashville, been there plenty of times, but never been there for a game. It would be cool to see that. I would love to go to a game in Canada. I did last season with some friends. I went to a Rangers Canadiens game in Montreal. That was cool. But I would like to do it again. Maybe experience the province of Alberta and either see the Oilers or the Flames. But those are some teams off the top of my head. But don't think it'll be able to happen this year. But eventually, I would like to see a game in one of those cities.
I've been promising to take my wife to Toronto for the longest time, so I'd love it if we can just take maybe a day or two, go up there to go see I keep wanting to call it the Air Canada Center. It's not that anymore. I forget which one. I think it's the Rogers Center now. But see Sky Dome, and also Hockey Hall of Fame, which Anthony, a Hockey Hall of Fame is my favorite one out of all the Hall of Fames for 2 reasons. One, it ain't in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
All the rest of them, they're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. This one's always my favorite. There's things to do. There's a game to go see. Can't say enough about the city of Toronto. I always love going to the city of Toronto.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, and even Montreal. So I mean, I've seen games in both. As a matter of fact, the game I saw back when it was the Air Canada Center, that was Game 5, Islanders versus Maple Leafs. The infamous Gary Roberts hit on Kenny Janssen.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would love to go see another game there, lower stakes, and be able to fully enjoy going to a game. I was with friends of mine who were diehard Islander fans, and even that game was rough. Between that hit on Janssen and then the Pekka hit later on in that game, yikes!
Yeah.
But Trent Hunter had a good game in that game, wearing number 43.
43.
Yes. But Anthony, by the way, the Frozen Frenzy, they got it scheduled for October 28th. They need to do more of these. I mean, we're going to be talking about it again in October, but they need to do at least one every 2 months.
Yeah, I like it. I think they need to stagger the times better, but I like it a lot. I think, listen, when every team is in action on the same day, that's mecca for hockey fans. So, hopefully they can keep improving it year after year.
Yeah, I would actually try to advise them to do it at least 3 times a season, so you still have the novelty. But you do it in October to start the season. Fine, you want to do that. Then do a weekend or Saturday. They usually do a Hockey Day in America on a Saturday or Sunday, and and then at least start it at 1:00 or even noon. You can start it and stagger the times throughout the day, and then of course do it in March, winding down towards the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that would just excite a lot of fans, even if your team isn't in it. Let's go to another headline that came out this week, and it's a good way for us to mention 2 legendary names, although there's several of them in here. The New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. I didn't know that there was one up until this week, Anthony, but they're having inductees this week. Former Islanders play-by-play announcer Jiggs McDonald, the Rangers Joe Micheletti, former Islanders Billy Smith and Brian Trottier, and Dave Maloney is also going in. And we have one piece of news with Dave Maloney in a second. But, it's just an excuse for me to mention the name Jiggs McDonald because that was, first off, blessed are you, the Islander fans, who have been able to listen to Jiggs McDonald, Howie Rose, and now Brendan Burke for the last 40 years. And you got to love, even though to me, Jiggs sounded a little bit like an auctioneer, but man, he covered the place so well.
Yeah, Jiggs was great. My earliest memories of the Islanders are Jiggs McDonald calling games. And as you noted, they went from Jiggs to Howie Rose, who was absolutely fantastic. And now Brendan Burke's one of the best in the business. So, yeah, they've always had great play-by-play guys. This in general, New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. I mean, again, nice gesture, but a lot of these guys, Trottier, Billy Smith, Jiggs McDonald, they're in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So it's just kind of, just a nice gesture. But
just window dressing. I mean, the only one that really isn't is Dave Maloney.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe he might get a Foster Hewitt Award. Because also Dave Maloney is now being named the Rangers color analyst for TV. Or just analyst. Do they say color anymore? I don't know.
Color commentator. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I just wasn't sure if I'm using just outdated terms for a second. But you look at this. I know you texted about this last week, and I'm like, I was kind of okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, Dave Maloney's great. I just kind of want him to stay with the radio side of it. Nobody knows more at MSG about the NHL than him. And maybe it's just that I just remember that young, fiery studio host for NHL on Fox back in the 90s that it's not really the Dave Maloney thing as much anymore. So maybe I wanted to see like Ryan Callahan or maybe even maybe Brian Boyle get it, but more than happy with Dave Maloney getting it. And that really is it for the A-Block.
Yeah, Dave Maloney, when Filk and I had our show Off the Post on that radio station here on Long Island, he was a guest on our show. Nice guy. He's very insightful. He's very knowledgeable. So I think he'll do great for the Rangers on TV. Congrats to him. As far as, you mentioned Ryan Callahan, Boyle, Callahan maybe is happy with his role on, ESPN, and he, he maybe had no interest. And, I know Boyle does work with NHL Network. But I think for the Rangers, this is just giving a guy in Maloney his due. He's bleeds Ranger blue.
Yeah.
He's been involved in MSG for quite some time. So I think, he was the next man up when the opportunity presented itself. So I'm not shocked by this at all.
I think it's that he's kind of closer to being the Rangers' Butch Goring now. A little bit more of a homer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that with any disrespect. Because Johnny Lazarus said this best. When it comes to a home broadcast, you want you guys to be a homer. And one thing I do have to credit Goring and Maloney with, they're willing to call people out. So if they're willing to call people out, that's what you want. That's what you want, especially in a New York broadcast. But it's an easy choice to make, and maybe I just keep thinking about him jumping on some of the overtime winners that were called in the playoffs. I think one time he jumped on Kenny Albert in the Carolina series, and one time on Sam Rosen when he did it. So, or was it Don? I might have been Donald Greca. I might have just mixed it all up right there. But
speaking of Donald LaGreca is the new Devils play-by-play guy.
Yeah, and Don did a great job, but he was with the Rangers, and I think he is a Devils fan. So good for him getting that, and no change to the Devils broadcast booth, right? Matty Laughlin's still there.
Well, LaGreca, that's the change.
No, I meant to the TV. I'm sorry.
TV.
Oh, TV. That's
no.
I forgot who the TV guy was.
LaGreca is going to be their TV guy. No.
Oh, he's going to be. I thought you said he's going to be radio.
No, I didn't mention no. No, LaGreca is the new Devils play-by-play guy. He took over for what was his name? Bill Spalding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's TV. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Wicked saying Don is doing TV.
Thank you. Because I had to go through this second by second on there, getting out my Devils announcer scorecard, because it's been a little bit fluid since Emmerich left, because I know Matt Laughlin did it for a while. Yeah. Then it was Spalding. Laughlin went to the radio though. And again, these guys always did great jobs all the time. And just more time for hopefully, by the way, speaking about which, while we're talking about announcers, hope John Giannone is doing well. I know he was battling some health issues at the end of last year. Queen's own John Giannone. I always got to say that now because I've actually married into a Queens family. So very proud to say Queen's own because now my family comes from Queens as well. All right, Anthony, I'm just going to ramble on. So instead of me doing that, let's do some NHL bar talk.
Shot. This is the easiest I've ever to answer.
I'm going to say beer. I can't even begin to describe.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around on this one. Welcome back, everybody, to Big Apple Hockey's NHL Bar Talk, where we're gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. You're so confident that you're buying around, so I'll have a beer. Oh, God, I need a shot. Play along, put everything down in the comments below. And if you want a beer, you need some wings, go over to Boss Croakers in Wansaw. Come on down. 40-cent wing night is on Wednesdays. $2 tacos, hard or soft, $4 Miller Lights or Yinglings. Getting back to this, because I'm plugging the bar that I work at. But Anthony, a lot of things happened last week with all the trades that happened, or at least 2 weeks ago. The New York Rangers traded Keandre Miller to the Carolina Panthers. They got back a first, a second, and Scott Morrow. Miller then signed an 8-year deal with Carolina. Go to the Islanders. They traded away Noah Dobson to the Montreal Canadiens. They got back the 16, 17 picks this season.
You're also forgetting Emil Heineman in the deal too.
Yes, actually, thank you for mentioning that. And then Dobson signed the $9.5 million AAV with Montreal. And actually, I put it out on a scouting report on Heineman today in our group chat. But here's the question I have for you. The Rangers' return for Miller was better than the Islanders' return for Dobson.
Oof. This is a shot layup. I mean,
don't
get me wrong. The Rangers did well considering Miller's warts. A conditional first, a second, and Scott Morrow. But I mean, Mark, let's be real about this. The Islanders got mid-round picks, which they turned into Victor Eklund, which if you saw, I sent in our group chat. Scott Wheeler from The Athletic did his 100 ranked prospects. Victor Eklund's 21. That deal also netted them the 34th ranked best prospect in the NHL in Keyshawn Aitchison. And then on top of that, you got a young spark plug and a fourth liner in Emil Heineman, who scored 10 goals last year for Montreal. So you're talking two really good prospects and a good bottom six player. The Hurricanes pick next year, let's face it, they're going to be a pretty good team. Their first round pick's going to probably be a late first. And then the second, and then Scott Morrow was ranked in that same ranking. He was ranked as the 60th best prospect in the NHL. So, I mean, Eklund, Aitchison, and Heineman versus, a late first and Scott Morrow. I mean, for me, I got to stick with it. This is an easy shot. The Islanders' return for Dobson was better.
Yeah, and also, by the way, both these teams, first off, made off like bandits with this deal, because I know there's people out there that are right now saying to me, Mark, you can't say that. Keandre Miller is going to break through in Carolina just like Brady Shea did. How good was Brady Shea really in Carolina? Let's just ask that question. But you know what? I'm gonna go shot on this one. We got a different variation of this question later, but we'll get into that soon enough. This one, Anthony, I'm going to agree with you. I'm not sure if it's a layup, but it's definitely there. Here's the reason why I'll go with that. Who knows how Morrow is going to turn out? He was a second-round pick. The Rangers did get a second-round pick next year and an additional first in what a lot of people consider it a deep draft. But the Islanders got their picks this year, and 2 first-round picks are one more than the first-round pick that the Rangers got for next year in the Miller trade. They have 2 first-rounders as well. So hopefully everybody followed me on that one. I know I tripped over my own words, but that's why I got to go with the Islanders. They had the 2 first-round picks that they got for Dobson. And after the JJ Peterka trade, I didn't know that they were going to get any first-round picks. Never mind 2 from Montreal. But and again, you got to love what these teams were able to flip these guys for and kind of get away from paying them exorbitant amounts of money. I understand the cap's going up, Anthony, but some of these extensions, it's can't help but just shudder at them. But speaking about guys that produce and could be getting moved at some point, you look at Brian Rust. Brian Rust has got 31 goals and 34 assists last season, 65 points, 3 years remaining, 5.125 AAV. Kyle Dubas will trade Brian Rust by the 2026 trade deadline?
This is around. I mean, there was speculation that Russ could be moved this offseason, but when you consider the fact that the Penguins are, likely going to be a leading contender in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes, and they're going to be horrendously bad, I can't imagine any reason. I can't envision a scenario why they wouldn't trade Rust. I mean, short of the Penguins surprising people and being like one of the better teams in the league, which I put at a very, very low percentage chance of happening. I think they're going to be bad, and they're going to full sell at the deadline, and Rust is going to be one of the top prize. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is an easy one for sure. And again, this caveat, he could also still be moved this offseason because his name has been out there. But if not, he's definitely going by the trade deadline.
I got to go beer on this. And I know that's been, I know you just brought in some good reporting on that one, Anthony. But I think the additional 2 years might be too high of a price. But if he's producing this year in any way, Dubas has to move him. So
you'll get a first for him.
Yeah, you'll get a first.
The draft act, this draft, maybe not, but I don't honestly. I think he still very well might. He's especially if he's scoring close to 35 goals.
Well, going with what you said, if it's a team that's towards the top of the division, they're going to be bottom of the first round.
Yeah,
they're going to make a move like that. So that would be a no-brainer. You of course you would do that. One guy that has been moved in his career is Kirby Dach. And the Montreal Canadiens center has played a maximum of 64 games in a season in his career. That was his rookie season with the Blackhawks, which, by the way, he was injured to start that year. A healthy Kirby Dach will wait, hold on. No, Kirby Dach wasn't injured that year. Sorry, the start. It was the next year. A healthy Kirby Dach will ensure the Canadiens another playoff spot.
I'm gonna go shot on this. Look, he's a good player, but I don't know if him being healthy is gonna guarantee anything. I think if the Canadiens make the playoffs again, it's gonna be off the legs of Lane Hudson and Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. If you want a player though that I think could help in getting them a playoff spot is Ivan Demidov. I think if he obviously came over towards the tail end of last season. He scored a goal in his first game, and he looks to be an electric player. If he can hit the ground running this year and really reach his potential from a lot of people think he can be, then I think that would go a long way in ensuring the Canadiens will earn the playoff spot. Dach, I mean, again, good piece. But even if he stays healthy, I don't think, he's necessarily going to be the main reason why the Canadiens do end up getting another playoff spot. I think that player, like I said, is more likely to be Demidov than Dach.
Yeah, I think Dach, anything you get out of him is a bonus. I got to go shot on this one too. There's just, you want to see this kid be healthy and compete. It's very difficult, Anthony, right now. I mean, he has just been hit with the injury bug so much in his career. And I talk about guys like Jack Hughes, who I think he played a maximum of 63 games in a season once, and he got 78 games played, and that was 99 points that year. Dach, a couple years ago, it looked like he was really starting to come into his own. I think that was his first year with the Canadiens, and then big surprise. Injury took him out of the lineup, and he wasn't the same after that. I hope the best for this kid, but whatever he can give them is a bonus. So it's not up to the Canadiens for worrying. He's not going to be the deciding factor, but you'd like to see him at least get back nice and healthy. Let's go to another center in that division in the Atlantic, where the Boston Bruins drafted James Higgins with the 7th overall pick. Yeah, we know we kind of wanted him to come to the island. And I really thought he was coming, Anthony, when the Islanders got those 2 draft picks that we just said was a layup. But Matthew Darche didn't take the bait, didn't bite. That we still think that was a good decision. And to Higgins, though, James Higgins should return to Boston College this season.
If when it was in relation to him becoming an Islander, I would have probably answered it's different, and that's just because it would have been much different. The homecoming, one kid Islander fan. I think the Islanders might have tried to squeak him on the roster just for the fanfare. It would have that would have followed from it. Now that he's on another team, there's not that need or desire from that angle to do so. So, now that he's a Bruin, I think that, I absolutely think he has the skill level to play in the NHL this season. That's not the question. But the Bruins, however, they're a team that's retooling, rebuilding, and they're another team aside from the Penguins that are mentioned in a possible destination for Gavin McKenna. So if the Bruins are smart, they'll keep Higgins in college. Number one, he develops his game more, and number two, I hate to say it, but you lessen the skill on your roster and increase your chances at Gavin McKenna. So for this, I'm going to say round. I think he should go back to Boston College this season.
I think this is an easy layup. Send him back there. No need to rush him. They already got his rights. Boston's got to figure out what they're going to be doing in the future. So let's get that round up there as well. This is an easy no-brainer for me. And by the way, even if the Islanders did draft him, I'd send him back to college too. It wouldn't hurt to give him one more year. Now, I think if he was the number one overall pick, I think that we're seeing that with a lot of picks this year. They're all gonna sign, but they're gonna go back. And in this case, he wouldn't have to sign because obviously you can't sign with the NCAA rules, right? Or
What?
that he can't sign professional contracts with the NCAA rules, right?
No, if you're an NCAA player and you sign an NHL deal, you can't go back to school.
Good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because you get a lot of these deals where you're seeing guys sign and then they're going either back to the junior clubs or going overseas. I just want to make sure I have clarification on that one. Yeah, no, don't rush it. Just send him home. All right. Or to Boston, I mean. Anthony, look at the Wild power play. There was 20th in the league, 20.9%. And a guy that we were at the draft in 2024, Minnesota traded up to 12th overall to get Zeev Bulliam. Zeev Bulliam will lead the Wild into a top 10 power play this season.
Well, don't forget they have Brock Faber there, who is capable of running a power play. But I think Zeev is going to take over the reins in that department. I think in that top 100 prospects rankings I referenced earlier, I think he was listed at number 5. I think he's this guy. This kid's very highly touted. I think he's going to be there along with Faber. I mean, these two are going to be cornerstones of the Wild blue line for the next decade. Top 10 power play. I mean, with Kaprizov there and Boldy, I mean, they certainly have the weapons. But top 10, I don't know. I'll go Beer. I think he'll help in that department. But to say for sure it'll be a top 10, I don't know. I'm not 100% confident. So I'll go Beer.
And sorry to everybody in the viewing audience and to Anthony that I accidentally hit him behind that beard when it popped up just now. I'll make this one easier. I think it's going to be shot. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be shot. I think there's just a lot of hills they have to climb. And not that it's a lot to ask a rookie to do that and so quickly. Lane Hudson was able to do that, but he's a special case. So I don't think it would be that. And if they did crack the top 10, it would be more because of the guys that they already got there, Faber, and maybe if Kirill Kaprizov can stay healthy, that'll be there. Mark my words, we'll do worse than last year because he gutted this team. But you know what else gutted this team? The fact that they had no guts. I mean,
they didn't have any guts.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep going back to this. they sat there and complained and whined that a fourth liner got moved last year. And then I love when I watch videos like there's one from Jimmy Hockey that was like, well, they were trying to move Jacob Trouba. We have sources that say he was going to be traded to Detroit. And Trouba decided to say, I'm not going to report anywhere. That's a gutsy move. That's total guts. And then to show up and totally be checked out too. So anyway, I wasted too much time worrying about that question. Let's go to a team that, look, they've been playing well, but they get to the conference finals and it hasn't exactly gone their way. But the Dallas Stars, Anthony, they've made it to the last 3 straight Western Conference Finals. But let's just say there was some controversy with Pete DeBoer, and Glenn Gulletson is the new head coach of the Dallas Stars. This is his second stint with the Stars. His first stint he had from 11 to 12 and 12 to 13. It was 64-59 and 9, 64-57 and 9. Sorry, let me correct that. Gulletson will lead the Stars to at least a second round playoff win.
I kind of want to say round because I still really like the Stars, but when I kind of try to look at it objectively, they lost to Donoff, which again, he's not a huge needle mover, but it's still a 20-goal, 40-point guy out of your lineup. And then more importantly, they lost Mikael Granlund, who was a very good player. Cody Ceci, I mean, he's kind of meh. And then the only thing they brought in was Radek. They brought back a former star in Radek Faska after a cup of tea in St. Louis. So they didn't really improve their team necessarily. I mean, Maverick Bork's a year older. Maybe he gets a bigger role. And yes, they are going to have a full season of Mikko Rantanen, who was fabulous after he became a Dallas Star. So, I mean, they're still going to be a very good team, but the point still stands that they didn't really improve from what they were this past season. So, I'm going to say beer. It's certainly possible, but I don't, I can't say with confidence that it's going to be around. Now let's just say they kept, and I know there's a salary cap, but I'm just saying, just for the purpose of kind of making a point. Let's just say if they kept Mikael Granlund and then they signed, I don't know, they signed another good player like, Nikolai Ehlers or just not even that level. If they just signed like a Jonathan Drouin, like just a solid, 50-point guy, then you can be like, okay, well, they improved their team. But I mean, that didn't happen. They lost two top forwards that play in a top 9 capacity. And they, like I said, they just added Radek Faska back. So yeah, this is a beer for me.
Yeah, the Dallas Stars right now, they're a plus 900 to win the Stanley Cup. And they're behind on the odds makers. They're behind Carolina and Colorado, as well as the 2 Stanley Cup Finals teams. I missed. Would you need to rephrase this? Are you saying that he's the reason why they'll make it? No, I'm just saying that he'll lead them there as a coach. He wouldn't be the reason though. But then again, there's a lot of times where you get away from a coach. Look at sometimes what happens. I didn't block you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Filk blocks people mostly in the comments. I don't know why he did it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, it could have been him. Could have been somebody else that we have. I didn't block. And also, I'm not a Drury apologist. I'm not a Drury loyalist. Again, the comment is, and I get it, you made the comment. What I'm just saying is, blame the players last year. That's more than Drury. Those players were checked out. So let's get back to this. But getting back, Maverick Bork really needs to step up. But just what is it with Dallas, Anthony? Why is it Dallas can't get over the hump?
I mean, they've played really good teams that they've lost to in the final. I mean, they lost to the Oilers 2 of the years. No shame in that,
Yeah.
So, and the year before that, what they lost to Colorado, was it?
Mm-hmm. No, Vegas. Sorry,
Vegas. Sorry, yeah.
The year before was Vegas.
You know, they're playing really good teams. They just unfortunately haven't been able to take that, like you said, get over the hump. But it's not like they're losing to bad teams. They're losing to elite teams. So, I mean, it's disappointing, but it's also not like shameful.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really like shameful though, but eventually you got to break through, which again is sort of the commentary that you hear for the Rangers 2 of the last 4 years. And with the Carolina Hurricanes also in that same time span. You can't just get to a certain level and then you're done. And I know sometimes the thinking is, well, if Carolina didn't play Florida, they'd probably win it all. No, because eventually you might have to play Florida. And by the way, I still think even if they played, let's say Tampa, let's say if Tampa got through that, I think Tampa runs roughshod over everybody else in the East and goes right to the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe they, I think we had it. All of us had Tampa Bay in the finals. So it's just that it's when it comes to this, maybe Goldson's just a guy that can actually just keep. It's not just strategy. You also got to manage the room. So hopefully that is somebody that could get Dallas over the finish line. Think about in football, Tony Dungy was the guy that always got Tampa Bay there, but they won the Super Bowl with John Gruden. Dungy ended up doing that with the Colts after Jim Mora couldn't do it. In baseball, Joe Torre was successful where Buck Showalter wasn't. And hockey's got those guys too. And you just got to wonder what's that missing piece that's going to get Dallas over the hump. I just don't know what that's going to be yet. All right. Well, guys, that is the end of Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk. We shot through those topics really easily. Anthony, we are 42 minutes into this. We're already on the pick'em segment. This, yeah, we knew we were going to be fast today, everybody. We just didn't know we were going to be this fast. So let's get the pick'ems. Where did I leave the pick'ems? There you are. There's the Big Apple Hockey pick'ems. And we got a couple fun ones for you guys today. Let's go with some of the ones from last year first. Anthony, going back to our bar talk and our first topic right there. Bigger impact on the new team, Keandre Miller or Noah Dobson?
So I'm assuming this is based on, I think the Johnny Lazarus video you saw on this on X. I know Phil replied to it and as was seemingly somewhat disagreeing and leaning towards Dobson. I'm going to have that same take. Noah Dobson, let's call spade a spade. He's much more gifted offensively than Keandre Miller. And now he's playing in Montreal that play a lot more of a wide open system than the Islanders do. And he's going to have talents like Cole Caulfield and, Nick Suzuki and, Demidov surrounding him, Lane Hudson. Now Hudson is probably going to get the majority of the power play time. So that might hurt Dobson's point totals because I can't imagine Dobson being on PP1 over Hudson, unless of course they use two defensemen and they use Hudson and Dobson on the same unit. Then by all means, I think there's certainly a big avenue for Dobson to collect a ton of points. But I think when you consider that Dobson's better offensively, and he's going to be playing with some of those electric players that I mentioned in Montreal, I think he's going to have the bigger impact. Keandre Miller, Carolina, yes, you have good players like Aho, Ehlers, but I just go back to Dobson is better offensively. So now, so with that said, when you say bigger impact, are you talking specifically point totals, or are you talking, just kind of like everything combined?
Let's go with the eye test. Let's go with everything combined because
I think talking point totals, there's no doubt it's Dobson. Even if he only gets power play 2-minute time, I think it's still Dobson. If you're talking all around, I mean, I think it's a toss-up, but I lean a smidge more towards Dobson still.
Yeah, I'm going towards Dobson all the way on this. I think still the problem with Keandre Miller is right between the ears, and he needs to make better decisions. And also he just needs to have his confidence. And I mean, this guy that everybody looked at, and consistency, by the way, everybody looked at him after the 22 run to the conference finals. They looked at him as he was going to be this beast. And I haven't seen that guy. I don't know if that guy's ever going to be around. So will he actually will he actually prove all the haters wrong, or will he actually flourish into this guy everybody thought he was going to be? I don't really see that with Carolina, because I don't see the Brett Pesce that was the defense partner for years with Brady Shea. So they got to hope that they got a guy that they could pair with him that'll really get him to flourish. I don't see that with Miller. And if people are waiting, they're going to be waiting a while. Is he going to be better? I think he should get better. And Carolina runs a good system. But I'm having trouble seeing on how he's going to fit in right there. Wish the kid the best of luck and hope everything works out. But I'd have to go Noah Dobson on this, even though I think Dobson's role is going to be limited for a guy you're paying $9.5 million to. But if anything happens to Lane Hudson, there's your number one power play quarterback and a guy that we thought could challenge potentially for a Norris Trophy a couple of years ago. Anthony, both guys had 84 assists last season. And I have to ask you, more assists next season, Kucherov or Nate McKinnon?
I mean, this is, I think this is a true toss-up here.
That's why I got to pick one.
I'm gonna go Kucherov.
Kucherov. I think McKinnon might score an extra goal or two and maybe change things around. You're right about this. This really is a toss-up. You look at both of them play on outstanding offensive teams, but this one's tough. I was gonna say McKinnon, but then I thought maybe he produces a few more goals. Maybe that takes away from his assist numbers. So, but you gotta love the way McKinnon has just been taking charge of the NHL in the last couple seasons. And more goals next season. Both of these guys had 41. Kyle Connor or Jake Gensel?
I mean, Tampa, Winnipeg. Again, this is a close one. I'm gonna go Kyle Connor.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And I think one thing I want to just check and make sure. Yeah, Jake Gensel might play on Team USA as he could. Why not? You'd be stupid to overlook him. But how is the Olympics going to affect Kyle Connor? Is he going to end up getting benched again like he did in the Four Nations? Does that affect his confidence, or does that help him be well rested? I'm going to go Kyle Connor. He's one of the guys that's in my centerpiece of a video coming out this week, Anthony, the best Connors in the NHL. But I think maybe he scores 50 goals this year and gets back on the horse. And speaking about a guy that scored 50 goals and maybe a guy that surprised you, what was the bigger one-year wonder of your time? Jim Carrey or Jonathan Cheechoo?
This is a close one.
And also spoiled accidentally.
Yeah. I mean, Cheechoo had that 56 goal season, which was kind of just Jim Carrey, Vezina Trophy. I'm gonna go Carey just because Cheechoo, never replicated 56 goals again, but at least he was around for a little bit. I mean, Jim Carrey basically just fell off the the face of the planet after that one really good year. So I'll go Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Chichu would go on. He'd score. He'd have a 28-goal season, I believe it was, 56, 37. Like, I think it was 27. And then he just fell off the face of the earth right after that. And they actually traded him for in the package that got Danny Heatley from the Senators. However, Jim Carrey, look at these numbers. Listen to these numbers, Anthony. In his rookie season, first off, he didn't win the Calder Trophy that year. I believe that was Peter Forsberg who won it in 95. But he was 18-6-3, a .913 save percentage, and a .213 goals against. He had 4 shutouts. The following year, 95-96, 35-24-9, and he had a .906 and a .228, and he had 9 shutouts. Amazing. And he was a rare American-born goaltender to win the Vezina at that time, because I think it was him and Van Beesbroek for like the longest time. Then the trade happens. He goes to Boston, and at his entire career in Washington, he won 70 games. He would play for the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues for the rest of his career, another 30 games, and he won 9.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And his goals against in the next 2 spots, he went from a .237 goals against with the Capitals to a .352 with the Bruins and a 3.87 with the St. Louis Blues. Granted, that was only 4 games. And just to put this in perspective on something else about him, you look at Jim Carrey, Byron Dafoe won the job over him 97-98.
Lord Byron.
Yeah, really took it over. And his numbers in comparison were so much better. 30-25-9, 914 save percentage, 2.24 goals against, and he had 6 shutouts while Carey couldn't even stay in the net. I mean, even Robbie Tallis had outstanding numbers for the Bruins. That was under Pat Burns at that time. So, you know what? I got to go Jim Carrey as well. So it's amazing how things happen with him and how it just fell off. All right, Anthony, holy cow, we're 52 minutes in. We're already at the Puck Doku.
Which
now we're motoring along today, guys.
Before you go there, by the way, I just was looking that up. Who do you think is the odds-on favorite right now to win the Calder Trophy next year?
To win the Calder, I'm gonna go Ivan Demidov.
It is, yeah. He's the odds-on favorite right now to win.
Well, because I think everybody looks at him and they salivate at those that 2-goal game that he had, his first game. You look at all the talent that he's got, and he's got a lot of talent that he's gonna be playing around. Anthony, if there's another play where he doesn't back check the way he did in, I think it was game 4 versus the Capitals, I don't think we need to worry about him being the rookie of the year because he's going to see the plenty of pine. So
some of the other guys right now are Zeev Buum, Isaac Howard, Alexander Nikishin, Jimmy Snuggerud, Zane Parekh, Ryan Leonard. Those are just some of the names in the class. So
Zane Parekh was a guy I was actually trying to work into this, and I have a good feeling.
Yeah, he's going to be one hell of a player. And then of course, it's looking like Matthew Schaefer is probably going to play in the NHL this season. If he does, you have to throw his hat into the ring. I mean, after all, he's the number 1 ranked prospect in the NHL. So, if he plays, he's going to be in the mix.
There was a list that went around Twitter today. I don't know if you saw it, about players that need to step up. Somebody wrote up. He listed Alexei Lafreniere for the New York Rangers, spelled Lafreniere wrong. And this is coming from me. Mr. Always spells everybody's names wrong. I spell my name wrong sometimes. But he had Matthew Schaefer on there. How does Matthew Schaefer have to prove to anybody? I mean, it's Matthew Schaefer is just going to come in. He's good. The Islanders are going to be very relaxed with him. They're not going to overload him unless he wants to be overloaded. You never know. If that kid can handle the workload, if he could be Peyton Manning, just throw him right in the fire and then nothing's going to affect him. Go right ahead. But they're gonna bring him along slowly, and good for him. There's no need to rush this kid. If he wants to go back to juniors for the year, go ahead, go let him. Although, by the way, Anthony, isn't there a provision now in the CBA about CHL players on the roster?
What do you mean CHL players?
Was it CHL players, or there was a junior player you could put on the roster, right? I
think you're referencing that they're looking with the new CBA. It wouldn't be this year, but
okay.
you could have an underager playing in the AHL, at least one. You have one guy in your AHL roster. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and you could still send him back to juniors though if you wanted to.
I'm not sure. I just know it's going to be kicking into effect where you could have, whereas like, some guys right now, like for instance, Cal Ritchie, it's either back to junior or not a guy like Cal Ritchie, a guy that just got drafted. It's either back to junior or the NHL. They're now with this new rule, you'll have the option of one player being able to play in the AHL. That's
quick question for you. Would you be for or against if the NHL did like Major League Baseball of if a player agrees to play for a team, if you draft an NCAA player, I'm already seeing the problems of this. I'm still going to pose the question. If you draft a guy and they commit to the NCAA, you hold their rights for 3 years, but they have to go to college if they elect to do that. Or let's say if they did baseball, it's a 3-year span. Let's say if it's just a 2-year span. You tell somebody they're going to the NCAA, you have their rights, but they're there for 2 years. I think now they still hold them for 3 years, and I think it's 4 years if they're older. I gotta look that up again. Forget it. Don't worry about it. It's a stupid question. Honest, because I'm actually answering my own question, Anthony. Yeah. I think most guys that go to the NCAA, they play 1-2 years, and then they go. You don't get a guy that's usually there as a junior, and the NHL players they don't want to they don't want to sit back and wait 3 years, never mind 4. So let's see about that one. I was just trying to think of out of the box things. Anyway, Anthony, let's do a quick Buck-Doku game. So let's get that right here. Today's Buck-Doku is from the Winnipeg Jets. So let's see what they got right here. Maybe it's questions from the Arizona Coyotes and the Atlanta Thrashers as well. Let's go. We can add that in. Here we are. We have on the top line 250 games played, 50 plus wins in their goaltending career, and 100 goals scored. And the y-axis, they got to be teammates with Mark Scheifele, born in Manitoba, and a Jonathan Toews teammate. So, okay. All right. 250 games played. I think I can start this one for Jonathan Toews. I'm going to go Michael Roosevelt.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You got to remember how to spell Roosevelt's name. There it is. Michael Roosevelt, 0.9%. Which one do you want to go at?
So teammate of Jonathan Toews and 50 wins in his goalie career.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Toews came into the league in 06, 07. So that is, I think you might be able. Let me check. I'm thinking Michael Leighton.
I got him ready to go. If that's the case,
let me just check to see if he had. I imagine he has. Even he was the Flyers goalie in the Stanley Cup Final, so I would think he has 50 wins.
Michael Leighton's got 37.
Oh, you know what? No, he didn't. He only played for Chicago in 2003, 2004. Toews was not there yet. Oh wait, no, sorry. I scrolled down further. He was a Blackhawk again in 2015, 2016. So,
However, he only has 37 wins.
damn it. All right, Michael Layton.
Nikolai Hobby Bullen,
That's
probably too
obvious.
high.
That's obvious. Yeah, Wicked saying Cristobal Huey.
That's who I was about to say. Cristobal Huey.
He definitely had 50 wins, but that's gonna be at least a 4. I would say at least 4% or higher for that one.
Would people remember Marnie Turco as a?
Yeah, just because of his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of his name. Hold on. Let me see. Who are we missing here? Did he play with? Because Mrazek's had a couple of stints on Chicago.
Yeah, he played with Mrazek. I was at the game when the Rangers played and they lit up Mrazek, and he was on there.
Actually, you might be wrong. He played in 22-23. Was that Taves didn't play that year? Did he? He did.
No, but Taves played in 22-23. Yeah.
You know what? Actually, no. Don't do Anton Khudobin, because Khudobin was a Blackhawk very briefly, and he definitely had. Yeah, he had over.
Yeah, I love it. Actually, incorrect.
What?
Yeah, incorrect.
He played for the Blackhawks in 22-23.
He probably doesn't have enough.
No, he has 114 wins.
All right. When did he play for the Blackhawks?
Did you click the wrong box?
I did not click the wrong box. I clicked Jonathan Taves' teammate, and I clicked this one right here. So he's got a.
Well, let me just. I'm not. So I'm on his Hockey DB profile. Anton Khudobin played for Chicago. Granted, it was only one game he played for the Blackhawks, but in the 2022-2023 season, he played for the Chicago Blackhawks. And Jonathan Taves is on the roster. So how is that? How is that not?
Hold on, I can answer that one possibly. Because that was 22-23. And while Jonathan Taves was on the roster, he did not play in the game.
Wait, who didn't play in the game?
Jonathan Taves.
So he legitimately had to have played. Oh,
yeah, he had to play in the game with Jonathan Taves.
That's
what
about, you know what, then do Arvid Soderblom.
Arvid Soderblom. Okay, so here we go. Arvid Soderblom, incorrect.
How is, because he didn't play in the game? That is, I don't understand.
I think, did he have 50 wins?
Oh, sorry, no. Soderblom was the fifth, was the reason for 50 wins. All right, you know what? Just do Mrazek.
Mrazek over. I think Mrazek's too easy. I think Cristobal Huey is the answer. That's just me thinking that. So I am going to override and go Huey on this.
It's
be wrong 7%. All right, Anthony.
Damn it, Mark, you 7%er. You
100 goals in their career, teammate of Jonathan Taves. Patrick Sharp would be way too easy.
Antoine Vermette.
Anton Vermette's a good one. You know what? Let's go Anton Vermette. Let's just go rapid fire through this. We'll go with what our first thoughts are. Anton Vermette, 1%. There you go, Anthony. Mark Scheifele. We're going to go with a teammate of his, 250 games played.
All right. Career. Now, remember, Mark Scheifele never played for the Atlanta franchise, so you got to strictly
correct
for the Peg Jets. What about Luca Spiza?
Love Lucas Spiza. Love using him. Lucas Spiza.
Yep.
0.3%, Anthony.
Oh, yeah. There we go. All right.
50 plus goaltending wins. Teammate of Mark Scheifele's.
First name that comes to mind is Al Montoya, but Montoya probably didn't have 50 wins. Though, did he?
That's going to be cutting it close. 67. Al Montoya is the answer.
Well, actually, did Shifley was there in 12 because Montoya was a Jet in 2012 to 2014. When did Shifley make
All right, let's cross section this with Mark Shifley. I can't believe we have to do this, Anthony.
He didn't. Mark Shifley was on the 23. Well, yeah, it was on the 2013-2014 roster. So
okay, well, I think it's going to be Al Montoya. Boom, you're 4%. Correct. 4%. This is definitely not made for a unique to score a 0 on this. And
Mark.
And a 100 goal scorer in their career that played with Mark Shifley.
Brian Little, but that's too high.
Matthew Perreault, that'd probably be too high.
Let's try to at least salvage this pitiful performance because you just shot with Huey when I told you not to.
Well, it was the third answer.
Who you plugging in now, all willy nilly?
No, I was looking for Marcus Johansson, see if he's on there.
Played with
Marcus Johansson, or
I mean, Wicked saying Lee Stempniak, he definitely got 100 goals, but I don't know if he ever played. Did he play with?
He probably played everywhere. Lee Stempniak, more than enough goals, and he played in Winnipeg 1 year, and it was in 24.
He was there
14-15. Yeah, because the Rangers traded him there.
Yeah, good call there, Wicked. Let's roll with Stempniak.
All right. Lee Stempniak. Okay. 1%er.
All right, now this born in Manitoba one is going to take some time here. So,
born in Manitoba.
All right.
You know, we did provinces last year. So I should have actually have thought about that. And those were all great where we had guys that had different provinces that they were in.
Where was Dustin Byfuglien from?
Dustin Byfuglien's American.
Oh.
All right. So first things first.
Well, Evan's saying Asham for 250 games played. I didn't realize that Aaron Asham played for the Winnipeg Jets.
Hold on.
Wait.
In this case, it could be anywhere. In this case, it's just they got to be born in Manitoba.
Oh,
and he was born.
I'm thinking, okay. That all right. I'm thinking Shifley. I was thinking Shifley teammate. That's why. All right. Well, that makes it much easier.
250 games played. I think Aaron Asham's a good one.
Aaron
so
Asham.
Let's go with
Aaron
Asham, who had the game-winning goal in 2013. Went to the wrong decade. What a great brain I have. The game-winning goal in Game 7 versus the Capitals. 50 wins and 100 goals. And the Manitoba stuff makes it a little bit more difficult. I mean, obviously, Jonathan Taves.
Did Travis Hamonic have 100? Probably not, right?
Let's check it.
No, actually, 53.
53? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Alexander Steen. Actually, here, you know what? I got a good one. Let's go with, I believe he's the first ever player to be drafted for the San Jose Sharks, Pat Falloon, 0.8%. Now we just need a goaltender.
Goaltender, Manitoba. Carter Hart is from, I think, Alberta. Wicked saying James Reimer. If he's from Manitoba, actually.
He is from Manitoba. Yes, I have that double checked.
Yeah. And he's got 100. Yeah, go with James Reimer.
James Reimer it is. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna do better when it comes to the pyramid. So James Reimer, there we go. Unique to score of 44. Let's see what James Reimer. James Reimer killed us 31%, Anthony.
31. Holy
31%. All right. For this one, we went with Huey, who was 7%.
And Mrazek,
somehow Marc-Andre Fleury was only 5.7. Nikolai Javy-Bulin was a guy that I said. Scott Darling was the one that we should have went with. Antti Ranta, of course, Ranger fans should have remembered him. Patrick Lalime, a bit of a shock. Yeah, Marty Turco. Only Alex Stalock, yeah, right? Yeah. Marty Turco, only 2%. Carter Hutton. You would have asked me 9 times out of 10. I would have forgotten. Oh, Robin Leonard drew a lower number. How is that even possible?
Click the Manitoba one.
All right, the Manitoba one. On the low side, former Rangers coach Ron Lowe would have been there. So would former Ranger Glenn Hanlon. But Bill Ranford only getting 2.6% for Bill.
Is the lowest the Jim Henry?
Jim Henry, that's the lowest.
The lowest one? Wow.
Yeah, they were not going to let you get a good number here. Al Montoya, by the way, second best number. David Rittich, the newly signed New York Islander, was at 3.3%. And this is kind of funny. Born in Manitoba, where the number one answer was Jonathan Taves. Not every day that you get the answer on that one. All right, Anthony, let's do the pyramid and let's take some questions. So, right now for the pyramid, we're going to start with the LA King, any LA King, 20
Josh
games
Green.
played. What?
Josh Green.
Josh Green. Okay. And all right. So the bottom, LA King, 20 games played in their playoff career. Under 1,000 games played in their career. They got to be a Montreal Canadian, 500 points in their career, and the Calgary Flames are on top. Trying to figure out who they're leading us into on that one, Anthony.
Mike Camilleri, maybe?
Wow. Okay. Yep. That's probably it. But an LA King, 20 games played in their playoff career.
At least 20 is what you're saying, right?
At least 20, yeah. I mean, Dustin Brown comes to mind, but that's going to be way too high.
Gary Galley?
Love Gary Galley. Let's just check that one.
I don't have to. He definitely played.
Yeah, but also it's not that. Also, let's check. No, I hit the wrong button. Let's just check to make sure that he's
He's what? He played for the Kings, and he definitely played in 20 playoff games. I can tell you that without even looking.
How do I? All right, did I not? Yeah, but no, just want to make sure we're not going to hit two R's at his name. A stupid way of spelling Gary. Anyway, yeah. Just want to make sure we're not going to need him for anything else later. Yeah, Anthony, you're 100% right on that one. So it's Gary Galley, and he did play 8 games for the Kings. Our next box is under 1,000 games played in their career.
I'm gonna throw out a guy to you that I use in a lot of my puck dokus. I could leave you to guess who it is.
Dave Babbage. Nope, sorry. So I'm going with a lot of the puck dokus. Sorry, Constant Crossman.
Yes,
there we go. The Constant Crossman. All right. So now under 1,000 games played, 20 games in the playoffs. They got to be a Montreal Canadian. And this is just games played. So
King, Canadian, under 1,000 games played and 20.
And they got to have 20 games in the playoffs. There's a guy that I was thinking of, and I can't believe I actually got him. How about Gilbert Dion?
How high do you want to send this uniqueness right now?
I mean, he only played 223 games, Anthony.
Who did you say?
Gilbert Dion.
Oh, I thought you said. Sorry, I was thinking.
You were thinking Marcel, but
I was like, "What is the matter?"
Yeah, no, Gilbert Dion. I remember 91 NHL PA 92, I think it was, or 93, and he was highly rated because he was a 20 goal scorer for back-to-back years. But he played with Montreal during their cup run in 92-93. That gets him to 20 playoff games. And he only played 223 games. He would play for the Flyers, and he would also play for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. I thought of Brent Sopel that came to mind. But,
actually, Brent Sopel's a good one too. What?
You know, it's
because he never played for the Kings.
God damn it, Mark.
You idiot. You absolute idiot. Ugh. Who was the king that we said before?
Josh Green.
Josh Green. Thank you. Everybody, this is where. All right. So Brent Sopel checks in on this list.
Yeah, Gary Galley.
Gary Galley. Stupid. You're so stupid. Need to get that soundbite for this. So Brent Sopel.
Yeah.
Check right here. Brent Sopel. Okay. So now let's not get so arrogant on that one, Mark. All right. Under 1,000 games played in their career.
What?
Now, let me check a guy that I know fits this. Daniel Lacroix, I believe. Or no, sorry, Daniel, his brother Eric. Eric Lacroix.
No way, Eric Lacroix had 500 points.
Oh, wait, that's the next one? Oh, he's got to have 500 points in his career. Jesus. 500 points and
under 1,000 games, a king
under 1,000
and a Canadian. And 20 plus.
He's got to play for the Canadians.
See, Matthew Schneider comes to mind, but Matthew Schneider played in more than
he played 1,000 games.
Yeah.
I mean, Matthew Schneider, by the way, 1,289 games played.
I
mean,
wicked saying, I don't even think Lacroix played for the Habs.
No, well, not Daniel. I was looking for Errol. I think I mixed them two together. Eric Lacroix, I know, used to play for the Kings, and you figure every guy that's French goes play for the Habs at some point. But
Mary Filkowski never played for the Kings, huh? No, I don't think he did.
I don't believe he did either. He did play for the Canadiens. Nope. New York Islanders, Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers, Montreal Kings, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Man, this is a toughie right here.
Yeah, I just have to interrupt this for a second. Bluegrass, I gave you the benefit of the doubt before with Filk blocking you because I didn't think you should block Pitt. The reason you keep talking about Drury and the Rangers when we're not even talking about the Rangers or anything anymore. And what others are saying, you're just at this point you're just spamming. So if you legitimately just keep doing this, I'm gonna ban this account too.
We got it. We're just on a treadmill. We're just trying to get through this.
Just stop. You won't get banned if you don't just keep talking about the Rangers when it's not even relevant to the conversation.
Yeah,
so,
that's all. We're just trying not to have everything revolve around that Drury is the most hated person on the planet.
Yeah. All right. So let's see.
And all right. So
Josef Baranek, did he ever play for the Canadiens?
Josef Baranek. Let's see right here. He played 531 games. He never played for the Canadiens.
Damn it. See, Vincent Danfus, even if he played for every team, would be over 1,000 games. See, you know what the tricky part is? Under 1,000 games and having at least 500 points is pretty good. That means you release a half a point per game player. So
yeah, you'd figure that guy would be playing a lot more. I got a guy that I'm thinking of. He definitely played more. No, I don't have to worry about that. I thought Brian Bellows was American. No, just I was looking up. I was checking Brian Bellows real quick because I know he played for the Canadiens. I didn't know he played for the LA, but it doesn't matter. He played 1,100 games.
What about
how many
games did Russ Courtnall play in?
Just too many. 1029.
Damn it.
And he would have qualified. He had all that. What about Could his brother Jeff have played?
No, Jeff, I think, played even more than him.
1048. So again, he just missed too. Although he didn't play for the LA Kings. So it's not going to be a because you got to get the 500 points, so it wouldn't be a defenseman.
What about no? That's probably too many points. Sergio Momesso, did he ever play for the Kings?
Sergio Momesso, I know, played. Actually, that's a good one. I don't think he's got enough points. No, he's got 345 points. That's the problem. He did have the Canadians, and he was a 2-time Ranger. That was kind of funny with that. This is the longest we've been stuck on this for a while.
By the way, DP Mike Keane never played for LA. You see in the comments, just in Mike Keane. Stefan, he said Stefan Richer. I don't know if Richer, he might have played. I don't know if he was ever a King.
No,
he said no.
Nope, never a King. 1054 on the points anyway. I'm still thinking about somebody like Benoit Brunet or somebody like that. But again, 537 points, but he only has 262 points, so he wouldn't have enough points.
No. Brian Prop.
Brian Prop.
Was he ever a King?
He's gonna have. He wasn't either. He wasn't a King. Wasn't
I was sorry. I was thinking of Patrick Poulin.
Yeah, he's got too many games. Patrick Poulin. Okay. Patrick Poulin was never a King. He was a Canadian.
How many points did he have?
He did have 235 points, so he's 4 short on the points. Oh my goodness, Anthony.
Evan said, you know what? That's a good one. I didn't think of Toffoli, Evan. I thought of Mike Camilleri because Mike Camilleri fits. He played for the Kings, the Canadians, and the Flames. But yeah, Toffoli's a good one, possibly, if that's the final answer. But Camilleri might be the final answer too. We
all think Camilleri is the final answer. If we could find a second guy, that would be even better. Because you think the 80s Canadians would still have somebody that scored like
did Adam I think I'm thinking the Nordiques, but did Adam Deadmarsh ever play for the Canadians? No, right?
No, he was just the Kings and he was just the Kings of the Avalanche.
Scott Young?
Ooh, Scott Young. Let's test Scott Young. Never played for the Kings. This is getting more anticlimactic as we go on.
I don't think it's a defenseman because how many defensemen were I don't know.
Wait a minute. I got a stupid question.
What?
No, I don't think he ever played for the Kings. I was about to say Pierre Turgeon.
No,
1,300 games.
Yeah, he was well over 1,000 games.
There's a guy that we're missing. I know there's somebody that was good, played in a bunch of games. I mean, it's not like it's going to be Guy Carbonneau. He didn't put up any points. I just looked at Mike McPhee.
Brian Noonan. Did he ever play for?
No, but nope, not enough points. Tried Brian Scrudland.
Trying to think of like early 90s Canadians players.
Yeah, like Mike Keane wouldn't have enough. Let's try Mr. October, I guess.
Who?
Brian Savage. And he didn't make it on anything. He didn't
He
make
didn't
it.
make what?
Any of it. He didn't have enough goals. He didn't have enough points. He didn't have enough. He had enough games played. He never played for the Kings.
Shane Corson never played for.
Shane Corson never played for the Kings.
I'm
There's a guy. We know there's a guy. Everybody, thank you very much. This is riveting television right now.
not giving up.
I know we shouldn't give up.
Mm,
Anybody that wanted to stay for Q&A might probably died of old age by now.
Yannick Perreault? It's not bad. I don't think he.
Yannick Perreault is actually a pretty good answer. You know something? Yannick Perreault, 859 games played, 516 points.
Check the playoff games.
The playoff games, he's got to make it because 54 playoff games. So we have Yannick Perreault.
Yeah, that's that coming in clutch there.
Yannick Perreault, there he is. And then that gives us, of course, Camilleri.
Oh, do a check first. I don't just check to see because he was around for a while. I mean, I don't think he played in 1,000 games, but
No, I think injuries. 906, 642, LA Kings, and a two-time Flame.
yeah.
If we could think, we'll find out one more. This is where we're just gonna select this one. Unique to score is 61 because we got it because of Camilleri. Tyler Toffoli would have fit in
the
there.
other one, yeah.
But Yannick Perreault, Donald Audette is somebody I forgot over there. Danny Grant would have also a fit.
Robert Lang.
Robert Lang. I keep forgetting sometimes he was a Montreal Canadian.
All right, now he's getting. I didn't want to do it. I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but he's getting banned there.
Okay. Well, what happened now?
He was just typing one letter at a time, like fire Drury. Like so.
All right. This is guys. This is also why I don't go through the comments. I'll let you guys do it. But it's just that gets ridiculous at times. So you're basically going on just to troll to say fired. We get it. You hate Chris Drury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just there's no need. We don't need to do this. I mean, I make enough recurring jokes for everybody. So there is no stupid questions. By the way, Divya Hamandi. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you again. Yeah, I thought about Mike Keane. Dario, this name is total poison to my ears. Yeah, I don't think I made it clear the first million times.
Robert Lang was a good answer there, but Perreault was even better. He was one of the lower percentages there. I would have.
Yeah. All right. By the way, you guys got any questions right now? We'll do some Q&A. Oh wait, does anybody want Chris Drury to be fired? I haven't heard from anybody that would want that.
You know the notes. I mean, Bowen Byram obviously re-signed 2 years. I think he could still be traded. From what I understand. Other than that, there's not really much out there in terms of moves that have a good chance of happening.
Yeah, everything's all quiet right now on the signing front and the news front. The real question that's
free agent wise, I mean, it's like Jack Roslovic that's left and Matt Grzelcyk. I mean, other than that, it's pretty. There's no one really left on the free agent market.
Let
me look here.
I can't say this.
So there's only 46 unrestricted free agents left, according to Puckpedia, and Matt Grzelcyk, Jack Roslovic, Victor Olofsson, Yoel Kirivanta, Pat Maroon retired, Luke Kunin, Craig Smith, Tatar went to Europe, Robbie.
Brody, if only somebody told me with every comment. Hey, what do you think
David's-
about the weather today? Fire Chris Drury. All
Yeah.
right, not that bad.
David Savard, he retired. Ryan Suter, Pacioretty, Cam Atkinson, Calvin DeHaan, Travis Hamonic, Daniel Sprong. I feel like perennial UFA that always signs like a 1-year deal towards training camp, seems like, on loop.
Ranger Central is begging for Kiwi Ranta.
Yeah. Honestly, Kiri Vanta had 16 goals last year. Victor Olofsson had 15. But Jack Roslovic is the one. 22 goals, 39 points. I'm surprised Roslovic hasn't found a home yet.
Victor Olofsson is he's somebody that's interesting. You wonder what's gonna, because he kind of had that down year in Buffalo, and then they parted ways with him, and he was all right with Vegas last year.
Yeah, and honestly, his 15 goals only came in 56 games too. So that's actually a pretty good pace.
Well, we're starting to get into PTO territory with a lot of guys.
You are. I mean, I think a guy like Roslovic can get a guaranteed contract. Same thing with Matt Grzelcyk. But some of these other guys, yeah, I mean, like, Nathan Bastian's probably a PTO. Tyler Mott at this point is probably a PTO. DeHaan, John Merrill. I mean, yeah. So at this point, there are a lot of guys who are going to be going on PTOs. But
there's a lot of PTO candidates. Who's not a PTO candidate? Chris Drury, because apparently he was just as bad as a player. It's. You know the Simpsons episode where Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2, where he comes out of the coma and he goes, and all he could say is Homer Simpson. Yeah. This is just Fire Drury. So
you're getting on the same territory. You keep talking about him and Drury now for the last 2 minutes after we've been.
I know. I'm just pointing that out. It's frustrating. It's come up with come up with more of an argument besides just Fire Drury. Because again, as I keep saying, the players have to be held accountable.
Yeah. Wicked saying Evan Rodriguez has to get traded, right?
Yeah, we actually think we did this as a topic a couple weeks ago. Evan Rodriguez plus has to get traded.
Well,
because
I saw a tweet earlier. I got to see if I can pull up who it was from. It was speculating that Matthew Tkachuk might need corrective surgery on all the issues that he had, and that if that's the case, he's going to be out until around December. So if that happens, then Tkachuk goes on LTIR. They can keep Evan Rodriguez, and by the time Tkachuk's ready to come back, who knows who could be hurt at that time. So they might get away with not having to trade him.
Yeah, they're gonna figure out a way to do all that. The guy that I also said that they might have to move, if it's just paper, you might have to move Nico Mikkola.
Let me see.
I mean, it's tight. It's one of those things where you kind of go, Bill Zito's gonna. Oh no, it's not Bill Zito. It is Bill Zito now in Florida. Right?
It was Nick. Sorry, it was Nick Kyprios. He said there's a possibility that Matthew Tkachuk's injury may need corrective surgery, which could keep him out through the Christmas break. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, Rodriguez isn't going anywhere. Tkachuk will just go on LTIR.
DP, we're gonna approach this as a topic for later on in the summer, especially while it's dead. But I'll give you a hint. I've been saying it all along. No, but I'll go into further details on that one.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. Yeah, I don't think you should resign.
Well, there's the belief among Ranger fans, and again, I don't mean to waste a future video, but there's a belief among Ranger fans that he's going to sign a team-friendly deal, stay for relatively forever, finish his career with the Rangers, and still score 100 points every single season, which he only did once. And somehow he's not to blame at all for what happened last year.
I would honestly, and it's funny. I was just gonna mention Kaprizov, so it's funny Wicked said this. Yeah, I mean, if I were the Rangers, I would let Panarin walk, because this way, if Kaprizov does make it to free agency, Now with Panarin gone, you have the capability of getting involved in those sweepstakes. It's if he hits the UFA market. In relation to Wicked's question, I mean, it's the Islanders have a large contingent of Russians now.
Yeah.
Varlamov, Sorokin, Romanov, Stiplikov, now Shabanov. So yeah, I mean, if Kaprizov made it to free agency, I certainly think they have a little bit of a chance there with it's a big market like New York, a lot of Russians, by far a guarantee. But yeah, I was always saying I thought Kaprizov was gone, but I read something earlier on Kirill Kaprizov, and it seems like the thought is now that he's going to stay in Minnesota.
If I'm Bill Guerin, I am doing everything it takes to make sure that he stays. If he did get traded, it would be later on in the year. And I think they're going to exhaust every single possibility. You look at that. That might be the biggest trade potentially ever at trade deadline.
Chris Johnston on Steve Dangle Podcast Network. Kaprizov, I would be surprised if he doesn't sign in Minnesota. I believe he will get more than Draisaitl. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets something like $15 million on an AAV.
And for Minnesota, that would make sense. They got out of cap hell. Right now, they got a ton of cap space.
That's why like the people always talk about how like the UFA class the following year is always stacked, and it's always like that. But then by the time it comes to, a lot of those guys end up re-signing. So yeah, while the UFA class right now for next year looks like it's good, by the time next year comes around, I guarantee you a lot of these guys are going to be re-signed. So I'm not so sure it's going to be as good as people say it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about making a video on that one because I think the video I made for it last year about the free agents that could have been re-signed. Like by the time I even published that video, Sidney Crosby re-signed.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at the list right now. Connor McDavid, I think he's going to stay. Jack Eichel, I think he's good chance he's going to stay too. Ovechkin's likely going to retire, go back to Russia. So you're talking, maybe Kyle Connor makes it there. Maybe Panarin makes it there, but he's at that point, he's going to be 34. Let's say Kaprizov re-signs. So if Kaprizov, Eichel, and McDavid re-sign, you're left with, Kyle Connor, Marty Necas, potentially, Adrian Kempe, Anthony Kopitar, but he's going to be 38. He's going to finish his career with LA. So then again, it becomes like anything else. It's not going to be that good. Malkin's going to be 39. He's likely going to retire. Claude Giroux, I mean, come on, he's going to be 38. So it's going to be the same thing as, sadly, I think it's going to be the same thing as this year. A lot of these guys, so you're going to be, Kyle Connor and Panarin and Necas, maybe Alex Tuck. So, I don't think people are making out about next year's UFA class. Honestly, I think it's going to be more of the same.
That's why, Anthony. That's you finish your sentence.
Oh, I'm saying I don't think it's going to be, and I agree with Evan. I think Kempe and Tuck make it there. But if Kempe and Tuck make it there, is it any different than Nikolai Ehlers and whoever was this year? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to be as deep as some are making it out to be right now. So we'll have to see.
By the way, DP, thank you very much. Because after all, I'm just a Drury shill, so I don't work hard on trying to make a good podcast at all. This is the hard part about this is, like, you look at this season, and I can't imagine Kaprizov or McDavid going. And I think one of the guys to mention in for that, and the case in point now, is now Mikko Rantanen. If Colorado turn around, go, we got to get something for this guy. They got Marty Natchez, who's going to be a free agent after next year. He might make it to free agency because
Who?
Marty Natchez next year.
Yeah, again, he might. I think it's fair to say he might, yes. But even if he does,
I just don't know if Adrian Kempe is going to make it because I think probably Kopitar retires and Kempe gets extra money.
I mean, maybe.
But I think it's tough to do this, Anthony, because a lot of these guys,
Yeah, this too.
they're going to get locked up by the time they even get to free agency. And that's why when fans are saying things like, oh, you think to go after McDavid, whatever team it is, don't bet on a free agent becoming a free agent because all your plans get screwed as soon as he resigns.
I mean, it's in the same vein as talking of how next year, but the year after, 26, 27, who's a free agent? All hail Cal and Quinn Hughes. Hughes and McCarr being a UFA in the same summer would be absolutely absurd.
That would be absurd.
Even them. Do you think Colorado is going to let Cal McCarr even sniff unrestricted free agency?
Oh, hell no.
No.
And look, Quinn Hughes going on the Devils, I mean, look, I just question whether or not that's a good thing for the Devils because they're going to be paying premium dollar for him. They're going to have to pay premium dollar probably for Jack Hughes because his contract's going to be up soon enough around the time when he gets there. Let's see. Jack signed until 2030.
Yeah.
So not this year, it's the year after. Okay. So you're looking at 27, 28. You're going to get Quinn, and then you have to start thinking about re-signing Jack. But by the way, at the same time, where's Luke? Luke's an RFA
right now. Yeah.
So where the Devils can either sign him, this is actually one good thing about cap wages. They do a lot of the expected numbers, and some of them are dead on. But they could sign him for 6 years at like 8.3 or do a bridge deal like 3.576. So that's like 5.756. So, I mean, you can kind of come out a little bit lower, but you want to make sure those guys are locked up for a while. And that's why windows open and close so quickly, Anthony. Like,
you're right.
All the Devils' assets. They still have all their draft picks, except for a fourth rounder next year and a third rounder in 2027. But they got 2 more fourth rounders in next year's draft. So, I mean, Devils can still do some things, but you mismanage your cap, or if you miss out getting the player, you kind of screw it.
The cap is going to be going up so much next couple of years that it's going to be really hard to mess up your cap situation.
Right. A lot of people are saying it's going to be like the old days.
And Gabriel's saying, I actually don't see Kaprizov re-signing Minnesota. I get the impression he wants to be a bigger market team. That's the drum I was beating, Gabriel. But as I referenced before, and not that Chris Johnson's the end-all be-all. I mean, but before he said he'd be surprised if Kaprizov didn't get, re-signed in Minnesota. So we'll see what transpires about that. But, if a guy like Kaprizov does make it to free agency, Mark, Darsh is loaded with Lee and Pajot coming off the books after this season. That's 7. That's $12 million in cap space alone off the books. So if Kaprizov is available with those 2 guys coming off the books, Darsh is going to throw an absolute bag at Kaprizov. At least he has the capability.
Yeah, but the thing we also can establish with Darsh is Darsh ain't just gonna spend money willy-nilly. If he spends money,
for a player like Nikolai Ehlers in this year's class, no. But when you're talking about a talent like Kaprizov, that's totally different. That's when you spend your money willy-nilly.
Yeah. But by the way, I'm glad Evan brought this up, Anthony, that Heischer is going to need that extension first. And right now, the way Nico Heischer's playing, I'd give him the money.
Yeah.
Chris T, there's actually, I think that perception is going to be changing soon.
I mean, yes, and I can't. That's true, but that doesn't change the fact that he has the capability of being able to if he wishes.
Like the Islanders are a top 6 market value wise. If they get now, the perception of this team is going to be changing in the next couple seasons. I will tell you guys this right now because I believe wholeheartedly in Matthew Darsh. And here's the thing. I know Chris T were saying that the Rangers, they're the free agent landing spot, but they might have to take a step back.
Dougie Hamilton's name has been out there, but I don't know if I.
And that's been out there for a while.
I don't know if I buy it. But
Brody's saying you guys still think if Byron wants out of Buffalo and Kevin Adams. That's right, Adams. I love that.
Yeah, I don't think the 2-year deal to settle before arbitration changes the fact that he's probably destined to be traded because the 2-year deal walks him right to free agency.
Yeah.
So Adams would be dumb to not trade him because he's likely going to leave.
It would be sort of like you have the number one forward on the trade market, and you don't even get a first-round pick for him. Chris, I'm going to say yes. I think both of them get traded. I think more likely Raquel. I guess. Let me see what Raquel's contract is. We're going to go about another 3 more minutes, guys, and then we're going to get out of there. All right, they're both reasonable contracts. Rust is a little bit older. I would say probably Raquel more than Rust. That's about it. I mean, I guess Rust because there's no modified no trade protection. There is a modified no trade list that's on for Rickard Raquel. See how many people he's got? He's got an 8-team no trade list. So, how about this? Do they have these now? All right. They actually got trade trees on cap wages. All right. I'm going to start the song right now, guys, but let me take also this question from NYR host. NYR for life, I mean. Let's get that in. Number 20. And here's bye-bye, everybody. All right. Let's get back to this question. NYR for life is saying, do you guys think it's possible that the Rangers don't re-sign Panarin and get rid of Mika next summer? If he has to go to 4th season, is he willing to waive his 10-year clause? I honestly don't know if he. I think this is Panarin's last year with the New York Rangers. Chris Drury hates Artemi Panarin, and realistically speaking, are the Rangers winning a Stanley Cup with Panarin? I just don't see it because Panarin disappears when the games get more physical. I mean, after Game 3 versus Carolina, you couldn't find him on a milk carton. And granted, he had, I think it was a goal and an assist in Game 6 on the Kreider hat trick, but not both. He had the assist on Vinny Trocheck's first goal. I mean, he was nowhere to be found. This team was going with the youth movement and then signed a superstar and then a defenseman that was disappointing. So they did a great job. Seems like Drury made good moves. It seems like Drury's good moves are never needle movers. Yeah. And the state of his franchise as far as the farm system goes, I don't know. And by the way, Ranger Central saying right here, Evan's going with, I wonder if Malkin gets moved at the trade deadline. I would not be surprised. I will say that. There we go. Let's move me over here. I'll pull Anthony out for a minute. It would be weird for them to be wearing another jersey. We'll probably do a video of that about other jobs playing. Okay, really, we're doing this. I'm actually looking at comments right now. All right, but different players that are in different jerseys. So, yeah, and again, this is where guys made those follies because they were waiting on everything. Just why? Just I get the point. There's no need to go any further. All right. Okay. Now you're gone. Okay. Is this really like how you get gratification? Nobody cares. All right, Malkin to the Avs. That would be something. And I don't know which one I did, timeout or whatever. All right. But Malkin, I think Malkin could get moved. Maybe if he wants to take one more run at the cup. See, to get guys like Malkin and Crosby, they did everything you need to do. So why do they need to get traded? They can just play it on out. Well, you got State of Survival having a good one right here, and Malkin and the Panthers. It's also a good one. So, but again, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason. We're going to see about some more stuff that we got going on. I got a list video coming out this week that I just mentioned. Maybe we'll do something where it's just a lot of guys that are in different jerseys that you can remember. Hell, remember Alexei Kovalev wearing a Florida Panthers jersey or an Ottawa Senators jersey. How about that one? See, but again, the only thing I have to say about this, Brody, is, and again, I don't like that move whatsoever. My question is, was it Drury or was it Dolan? Because when it came to that, I think it was Dolan. And I said this all along. Fans called me crazy. But you're right about this 100%. Now we're all counting in on rookies to bring in big numbers. You cannot do that. You also need rookies to be good defensemen. You can't do that either. It's just not going to happen. So we got that. And let's get to let me get to the last two comments that are right here. Mr. Jams fan saying, what kind of team is Drury trying to build? As an Islander fan, I don't get it. I think what the team he's trying to build is a team that's more tough. That is tough and hard to play against. Because however you want to say it, the Jeff Gorton team, they were very easy to play against. But Jeff Gorton is the greatest GM in the history of GMs. I don't understand why you're doing it. Christy said hated the Igor contract coming right after me rejoicing about the Trooper thing. It came hours after, and it was absolutely just the worst. The optics are very bad because then you get rid of one guys. You get rid of one of the guys, and then once that happens, you're then going to just sign them? And just no. Brody, thank you very much. I will see you again soon. Deegan, how we doing? But hi, Mark. Love the show. Quick question, because I saw the Olympic break and I really hate it. Do you know if the Russian team is still banned? They are. And it's something I've approached several different times. It's an unpopular opinion, but I think it's a BS thing. They shouldn't have banned them. Out of all the things we've had in the past 100 years, never mind. Let's never forget they held the Olympics in Nazi Germany. Go ahead, ban the Russians, ban the Russian players, all their athletes. Go ahead. So it's just, anyway, but no, and yeah, we don't even know fully. Because it looks like he's trying to make a team that's a little bit tougher. But the thing is, you still have Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin under contract. And Mika Zibanejad, guys, I'm sorry. Mika Zibanejad is a wing. That's not toughness. I don't see a guy that's going to go in and win board battles. So good luck to the Rangers the next few years. All right. Yeah, this is the other thing. The Rangers need guys like Brandon Saad or Andrew Shaw who are producers on rookie deals. Only way to win in the cap era. Because the Rangers need to revamp their development and the scouting. You know who's really doing that? The New York Islanders. So get ready for that. Guys, we're going to cut it off here today. Everybody, thank you very much for joining. Either we're going to have a show next week or hopefully, no, we're still going to have a show every single week. There's always summer conversations to have. You guys are the best that always remain with us. So, I mean, again, as you say, me crying to the press, never mind about his ice time, crying to the press about a teammate getting traded 13 years in difference. All right, everybody, thank you very much. And we'll see you soon. Everybody have a great night.